For this part, I will welcome two colleagues, Bardo Schettini-Girardini, who is Director in the Legal Affairs Directorate in CCMC, and René van der Kamen, who is Director in the EDP Directorate within CCMC. Bardo, I think that you start the presentation about our partners, so the floor is yours.
Yes, good morning. Good morning to all of you. Thank you very much, Nathalie. So I'm Bardo Schettini, Director of Legal Affairs, and I really have the pleasure to make this little journey with you concerning the current policy of CENELEC regarding partnerships. Now, what we are going to, and of course share this presentation also with my colleague René. What we are going to explain to you is, in a nutshell, are the new concept of this partnership, the current partnership. Then we will look into two specific status, which is partner organization status and liaison organization status. And we will see in practice what does it mean in terms of rights and obligations for those organizations, and then we will sum up the presentation with some key learning points, and of course we will reply to your questions. Now, the new concept of partnership, has been quite a long journey. Many of you might remember that CEN and CENELEC had in the past two very different approaches in terms of partnership. And we all know that in order to fulfill the missions of the two organizations, which is developing European standards, and of course to respond also to the needs of industry and the stakeholders, one of the key points is really to have a sound partnership with the key stakeholders and key organizations working with us and providing really high relevant inputs to make sure that we have good standards. So this, of course, is the starting point. Now, we realized that since the approaches were completely different, there was really a need to try to harmonize the ways CEN and CENELEC were really working with sometimes actually the same partners. So in 2012 we started internally with our members a review process of the two policies, and we came up with a new guide, which is CENELEC Guide 25 on the concept of partnership with European organizations and other stakeholders, which was approved in 2013. And since then, we started changing all the bilateral relations we had with the hundreds of partners of CEN and CENELEC. And I would say that throughout 2014, we had, maybe some of you had experienced this, we had gone through a kind of interim phases with many partners, and we signed new agreements, and I think that now the system is fully in place. So whenever you have any doubts, my first hint is really to go to the CENELEC Guide 25, which is of course publicly available as all the other CENELEC guides in the CEN and CENELEC website. Does it work? Is it locked? It seems we have a problem. Just 1 second, sorry. Okay, so okay, all right. Within this new concept of partnering, what we are talking about. So essentially, and this is of course a big difference with the presentation that you have experienced before, we are addressing here European-based organizations, but as well as other kind of stakeholders that may not be fully European in that sense. For instance, could be the case of foreign consortia, but we will see those peculiarities later on. Of course, the bottom line is that all these organizations needs to be interested in European organizations on what we do. They also have to show willingness to provide really added value knowledge, because otherwise there is no there is no reason for us to get into partnership. And of course, we look for real, actual contribution. So it's not just a formal process. We want to have substance, and that is, of course, something that we also assess. Within that concept of partnership, we have two main pillars. One is partnership at the level of governing bodies, so also, let's say, political activities, political or corporate activities in CEN and CENELEC. And the second pillar, of course, is partnership at technical level. So we have within Guide 25, we have 6 categories of partners. So the liaison status and partner status, also as what we call associated bodies, European institutional stakeholders, European councillors, and other, let's say, specific case of cooperation with organizations. Now, we are not going to tackle all of them, but as I said, we are going to concentrate on those that I think are really more relevant for you, which is the partner organization and liaison organization. So, of course, if you have questions on the others, I will be happy to reply to them. Otherwise, you will find some information in the Guide 25, of course. Now, let's start with the partner organization status. So, why a partner, a partner or stakeholder should apply for this status? First of all, because they want to influence and to participate, to get information on what we do at governance level and what we do in terms of policy related to standardizations. But also, of course, they want to, they may wish and they want to participate at the level of the technical work. Now, when I said participation at level of governing bodies, also means participation in the our general assemblies, in CENELEC general assemblies, the possibilities to trigger for political matters, to trigger the CENELEC Presidential Committee, which is one of the key governing bodies of CENELEC, and also, of course, participate as observer to the meeting of the CEN or CENELEC, depending where they apply for, technical board. Now, participation at the level of technical work, of course, means technical committees. Now, within this area of partner organizations, a specific mention is to be made on the what we call Annex 3 partners. It's somehow a specific category of partners, because these are the European organizations that are specifically mentioned in the EU Regulation 1025, which is the regulation that regulates the working of European standardizations. And they have, because they play a specific role, societal role in a way. So so we're talking about the consumer associations, the European trade unions, the environmental organizations, so ECOS, and SBS, which is representing the interest of small and medium-sized enterprises. Because of the fact that they are specifically mentioned in the regulation, they also enjoy some, let's say, different rights than all the other partners and liaison. But we will tackle these issues later on during my presentation. Maybe another thing that I would like to mention, that their specific role and their specific rights have also been recognized internally by our technical boards, with some specific decisions taken in 2013 concerning access to documents, to technical committees. But as I said, we will look at this later on. Now, I said that we are looking for partnership with European-based organizations who are really who can really bring added value to let's say to the mission of CEN and CENELEC. Now, we made in CCMC, before bringing forward to the governing bodies a decision to allow the status of partner organization to stakeholders who is applying for it, we made an assessment. And of course, because we are looking for, we need to, if you want, we need to ensure that these organizations fulfill all the criteria that are set in Guide 25. So here we're talking about organizations that could be either specific, sectoral, so specific organization on a very well-defined area of expertise, or could be also pan-sector organization that, which means horizontal kind of organization. And for instance, if you take the consumer, ALEC is one of them, or ECOS the same. We are looking for the ability of this organization to bring to the table a very wide representation of the European interests, so not small organizations, but very representative organizations, able, I'll say in practical terms, to be active in our field, and also open to, not a closed club, but open to possible membership from national organization in Europe that at the moment of the when they apply, they are not yet member of that organization. So we need to have openness here. Now, at the moment, since 2014, we have 9 partner organizations and 12 CENELEC partner organizations active in CENELEC. Now let's go to the second pillar, which is liaison organizations. Here, the big difference is that liaison organizations, they do not participate at any activities at corporate level. So they do not have access to technical board, they do not have access to the general assemblies and so on, and to working group or other groups which are related to the activities of our governing bodies. On the other hand, of course, they have the rights to, they will have the rights to participate as observers to the technical committees to which they apply for. And of course, when I say technical committee and the working group. This means that when I say participation, means not only attendance, of course, to the meetings, but also they have access through our database. They have access to the document as all the other technical committees members or working group members. They can provide inputs, they can make a proposal, and so on. Of course, they are observers, so at the end they cannot vote. That it goes without saying. For liaison organizations, let's say it's a little bit wider than the possibility, let's say, to apply for liaison organization than for the partner organizations, because here we're not just looking for European-based sectoral or pan-sector organization, but also the status is open to consortia or fora who may have, let's say, also essentially not based in Europe, but also international ones. But of course, where actually, and this one of the things that we look at, where a European organization or European relevant stakeholders are also active there, because of course, otherwise, if it is not, if there are no European representation at all, or the European interests are not represented at all, then we cannot say that it is an European-based organization in any case. And then we also we open this the possibility of applying for liaison organization status to those consortia that are the emanation of European research projects, and we have already some of them quite active in our technical committees. In that particular case, of course, the liaison will have a time limit, which is the time of the research project. Again, what we expect from the liaison organization is again substance, is to be not to sit there just to get information, but really to provide added value expertise and to provide really effective contribution and active contribution. As of today, we have in CEN since 2014, we have signed 2017 agreement of liaison, and in CENELEC 20. Now, in a nutshell, the obligation that we request to the partners and the liaison, on top of our expectations, is of course to be bound by our internal rules, to be bound by also our IPR rules, so in terms of use of the documents and circulation of the documents, so they have to follow the our guides and the provision and regulation concerning intellectual property, and of course they also have to pay an annual fee. Now the annual fee, which is clearly explained in the Annex 1 of Guide 25. The annual fee varies according to the status of liaison of partners. In a nutshell, as a partners for CEN, the annual fee is 5,000 euro per year for participating in all the corporate activities, and 500 euro per year in participating in a technical committee. So for each technical committee there are 500 euro, and in any case we have let's say some limitation in terms of ceiling for payments in case they want to participate to many TCs. In CENELEC is a bit less, so 3,000 euro, and again 500 euro for each technical TC, and for liaison it's just 500 euro for each technical TC. Just a little mention on the efficiency clause that we have in Guide 25, which is basically, and that is very important for those of you who have to chair technical committees activities, is the possibility, the ability also to check the real contribution of those organizations and to provide feedback to us, because as I said before, this is not a formal process. We really look for substantial inputs and added value from our partners. Rapidly, the procedures, which I think is quite important for you to know. When we receive a request for partner status, we, as I said before, in CCMC we made an evaluation in terms of fulfillment of all the Guide 25. We request then an advice to the technical board. And if the advice of the technical board for this new future partnership is okay, then we trigger, sometimes not, but normally we trigger the administrative board for a recommendation, and then we have a decision of all the members, so the General Assembly decisions, normally taken by correspondence, on this new partnership. Because of course it's also a political level, a governance level, so we need to have all the members agree with that. For liaison is simpler, but we have some slight difference if they apply for CENELEC or for CEN. If they apply for CENELEC, as we made the usual evaluation, we ask you, so our team in the legal department trigger the technical committees concerned and ask for an advice, so decision whether they welcome or not this new liaison. And if that is okay, in CENELEC we trigger the technical board for a final decision on this new liaison, whereas actually in CEN the technical committees have a power of what we call delegated decision, which means that that is sufficient. Once we have the decision from technical committees to welcome this new liaison, then it is sufficient to, let's say, signing the partnership agreement. If you're interested in knowing who is currently partners or liaison in CENELEC, you can go to our websites, and the list are available, and they are updated according to, daily, according to the signature of the agreement. Now, that All this part was about, say, those organizations who want to apply for liaison of partnership. Let's see very rapidly what happens if we have already a partner and or liaison active in with us, and they want to apply for new technical committees. Now, in this case, we have a little difference from the case of what we call Annex 3 organizations that I mentioned before, and the, let's say, the regular partners and the liaison status. The difference is that because of the specific, let's say, mission that has been given by the regulation to the, let's say, societal and SBS organizations in the standardization field, the both CEN and CENELEC technical boards agreed that there is no need to ask for an advice to the relevant technical committees, which means that as soon as we receive a request from, let's imagine, ANEC or ECOS, to participate in a new technical committees, we will process this request. Of course, the technical committee concerned is informed, but there is no need to have any agreement from technical committees prior giving to this organization the possibility to join the work of the technical committees. In the other cases, partners and liaison, we always ask the technical committees the advice before, let's say, granting the possibility to access to the documents or to the meetings of the concerned technical committee. So this is an important difference that I would encourage all of you participating in technical committees to take into account, because it is important. Now I will give the floor to my colleague René for this part of the presentation.
So good morning. Yes, in practice, I would like to address three things in the 3 coming slides. The access to participation in meetings, in physical meetings or web meetings, the access to working documents, and the third one is the access to draft standards and the possibility to comment. So the first one is about participation in TC, subcommittee and working group meetings. There, well, we have similar rights for Annex 3 organizations, other, let's say, what we call other partners and liaison organizations. They are entitled to send one observer in the meetings, and observer means that they have no voting rights. At the level of the working group, they can send what we call experts, so it means that people serving in their personal capacity. There is no defined limitation of a number of experts in the rules, but of course it's common sense that the number of experts need to be reasonable, and the meetings need to be manageable, and of course the working group convener has the possibility to limit if there is a problem in this sense. The next slide is about the access to working documents, and here we're talking about documents on the CEN committee platform and on the CENELEC collaboration tool. Here again we have to make difference between TC, subcommittee and working group level. In this case, the Annex 3 organization and the other partners have the possibility to ask for 2 users to have access, and we ask 1 to be from the secretariat staff, and they can also nominate 1 expert. For the liaison, only 1 expert is allowed to, let's say, to be given access to the documents. At the working group level, we accept 3 users for Annex 3 and other partners, 1 person from the secretariat, 2 experts. For the liaison, again, 1 expert is allowed. The next slide is about the access to draft standards and the possibility to submit comments, and we've seen that there's already a question related to that.
In this case, the access is quite differentiated according to the type of organization. Annex 3 organizations, as Bardo explained, have the possibility to, let's say, participate and submit comments through the whole process. That's why they have access to all the exception of procedure, inquiry or equivalent PQUQ, so primary updating questionnaire, UAP, the short procedure, formal vote, approval of TS and TR. For liability reasons, we ask these users to be from the secretariat of the organization, because we have, of course, to be sure that the comments that they submit represent the view of the organization and not the individuals. For other partners, they have similar rights, but for inquiry and the assimilate, let's say, equivalent PQ procedure, so two users, but from the secretariat, the other partners don't have access to documents and possibility to submit formally comments to at the European level. For the formal approval processes, they have to do that through their national members. Same thing for the liaison. No access is granted to the draft standards and the possibility to provide comments.
Okay, I will take again the floor. Now, just in a nutshell, I mean, what are the real implications for especially for TC chairs and also secretaries in this case? We would like really to invite you to monitor the attendance of the stakeholders in technical committees to ensure that we have coherence between the agreement signed by CEN and CENELEC partnership and the expert that you have in your TCs. We would like also to stress that the specific rights of the Annex 3 are guaranteed, and that is in terms of participation in the technical committees. Whenever you see an inconsistency in the attendance, compare with the information that we provide to you in terms of the active partners or liaison in the technical committees. Just let us know. And the last point that I would like to also to remind is that the partnership rule doesn't prevent a chair of a technical committee to invite some observer who is not at the moment was not, let's say, at the moment any liaison or partnership with CEN or CENELEC to contribute to the discussion in a specific meetings. But of course that is allowed if it is just occasional, not if it is recurrent that we get into the partnership field. Let's finish our presentation with the key learning point. So please go to the guide 25 whenever you have any doubt. It's publicly available in our website, and it is our Bible in terms of partnership. Participation to technical work of Annex 3 organization, there is no need of prior advice from technical committees, so it's a simplified procedure. The access to documents and the commenting rights depend on the typology of partnership. Of course, there are differences in partnership as explained, so please bear in mind this. And we count on specifically on all of you participating in technical committee works, but also chairs and secretaries. We need to value the actual contribution of all our partners and liaison, to monitor the participation, to make sure that we all get the most out of it. Please keep in mind the specific role of Annex 3 organizations, and whenever there is an issue on inconsistency, don't hesitate to inform us, either the program managers or the legal affairs department who is handling the process of partnerships, so that we can give you some solution. So thank you for your time.
Thank you for your presentation, and see you next month for the webinar on standards and regulation. Bye bye.